King Charles III and Camilla, Queen Consort's relationship was a source of contention for decades before they married. As one of the highest-profile romances in the Western world, the public has had front-row seats for every misstep the couple has made. From the moment they met, Charles and Camilla have been like magnets. The two had a brief fling in the late 70s after dating each other earlier in the decade, and they resumed their affair in the late 80s while both were married to other people. In 1992, Charles and Princess Diana separated, with rumors flying that Charles had been unfaithful. Those rumors were all but corroborated when British outlets released a transcript of one of Charles and Camilla's phone calls. The conversation, which originally took place in 1989, hit tabloids in 1993. Before the transcript was leaked, the public was already less than thrilled with the idea of Charles cheating on the people's princess. The explicit nature of the call took things to the next level.
I'm in the bedroom.
In bed?
On top of it.
Lucky old bed.
The leaked phone call, which Netflix dramatized for The Crown, has since been referred to as Tampon Gate because of a comment Charles made to Camilla expressing his wish to live in Camilla's pants and be reincarnated as her tampon. There are multiple theories as to how the media got a hold of the transcript and why it was kept under wraps for years before being published. But what is certain is that the public was shocked and disgusted. As Diana's former bodyguard Ken Worf wrote in Guarding Diana, the backlash was savage. Establishment figures normally loyal to future king and country were appalled, and some questioned the prince's suitability to rule. When Tampon Gate rocked newsstands, Charles and Camilla still had a lot of personal matters to iron out. At the time, Charles was only separated from Princess Diana, and Camilla was still married to Andrew Parker Bowles. It would be a few years before Camilla and Andrew would formally end their marriage, and even longer before Charles and Diana's divorce was made final. Then, on August 31, 1997, just 1 year after her divorce from Charles was official, Princess Diana tragically died at the age of 36. Although they had reportedly been seen together at private events not long after the dissolutions of their respective marriages, Charles and Camilla made their first public appearance as a couple in January 1999 when they visited the London Ritz Hotel for a birthday party. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the public was divided over Charles and Camilla's first public outing as a pair. As the Daily Telegraph reported at the time, the decision of the Prince and Mrs. Parker Bowles to be photographed in public will be regarded by many as long overdue. It will also bring renewed criticism from some quarters of the Church of England and the more partisan followers of the late Diana. While many were uncomfortable with Charles and Camilla's date, the future Queen Consort was also lauded for her courage in the face of intense public scrutiny. More so than most, King Charles and Camilla played the long game in their relationship. It wasn't until 2001, over 30 years after they first met, that the duo made a public display of affection. That year, while at a charity event at the London Somerset House, Charles kissed Camilla, and it got the public talking. At the time, the public was becoming more accepting of Charles and Camilla's relationship, and those in favor were pleased to see the two kissing. However, others were staunchly against it and found the kiss inappropriate for a senior member of the royal family. While PDA among members of the royal family is certainly rare, it's not technically against any royal rule. As royal etiquette expert Micah Meyer told People magazine, senior members of the royal family would likely not be told how to interact or when they can or cannot show PDA, and would be trusted to use their better judgment as to when it's appropriate. Meyer went on to explain that royals are often deliberate about the level of affection they show at public events based on how formal they are. She explained, "At a somber or more formal event, we are less likely to see PDA than at a casual event where it would be deemed more fitting." Though Charles and Camilla's kiss was unexpected, they likely weren't reprimanded for it. In 2005, after a decades-long romance, Charles and Camilla finally got married. Although the event wasn't a surprise, some members of the public were upset. Evidently, there were many who thought that she was unfit to become Queen Consort one day. As one member of the British public told CNN, "I do not think she is the person you would want to be on the throne. He could do better. I do not think it should go ahead, definitely not. How could she possibly be queen?" Others were still upset that Charles and Camilla had gotten together after their affairs, and some thought the wedding was simply too soon.
What, of course, has been so difficult is the suspicion at the back of her mind that actually they don't like me.
Like anything the royals do, the reaction to the news of Charles and Camilla's wedding was mixed. More of the public had come around to the idea of Camilla as future queen consort, and some felt the hatred toward Camilla was unwarranted. As another British citizen said, "Times change. If you really love someone, why should you live your life in misery when you have got something that makes you happy? It's not really any of our business." Not all of Charles and Camilla's awkward moments have been quite so amusing, and the media and public haven't been so forgiving of every gaffe. In December 2022, Charles, who had recently ascended the throne, was seen having a public outburst. It was reportedly over Camilla taking too long while speaking with some people after the couple met Ryan Reynolds at Wrexham AFC. In response, the king apparently asked his handlers to get his wife's attention rather than doing so himself. Body language expert Judy James reviewed the clip and told Express that the little flare-up was exemplary of Charles's poor attitude. She explained, "There are no signs of good humor here, just a man pleading to his entourage to get him out of his situation and onto his next booking." James added that while many members of the public were trying to show Charles grace at the time, due to his new royal circumstances, the king should have been kinder and more loving toward Camilla.